You are listening to the Social Science KLAI-descope. What's up, guys? Welcome to a special episode of the Social Science KLAI-descope. Before I begin, consider following the podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found, and connect with me on my socials on Twitter at KMDLAI or on Instagram at KMLAIII. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, where I promote these episodes. As I mentioned, this is a very special episode, and recently I recorded a conversation with two of my friends from the Swarthmore Economics Department, and within the episode we brought up the memories of Professor Stephen Golub, and I didn't think it did it justice to leave it within the episode, so I wanted to separate that part and put it in its own special episode. Based on what I've read on Twitter from his former students and conversations with my friends, he was an integral part of the Swarthmore Economics Department. I just wanted to share a couple of my personal thoughts and my personal memories with Professor Golub. My first class with Professor Golub was in intermediate microeconomics, and that was the first intermediate level course I took after Intro to Economics. He was very patient in that class, especially during the discussion sections when we were called up to the board to present answers to a problem set or present understanding of certain microeconomic topics. I remember that the feedback that he gave us was very honest, but also very thoughtful. He really made sure that we understood the material. So that was my first interaction with Professor Golub, and I got to know him even better in his international economics seminar. I'm not gonna lie, his international economics seminar was probably one of my most favorite economics courses. And a large part of that is due to his teaching, his mentorship, both inside and outside of the classroom for that course. During the class, he really made sure that we understood the material, even though it might take 4 hours, 5 hours, didn't matter. And because of that, it really prepared us for the honors exam or our final exam that an external examiner wrote. And so his teachings were very thorough. And outside of class, he spent a lot of time with me, helping me prepare for the seminar papers and the seminar presentations based off of the paper that we wrote. So I really appreciated his time with those things. He was very honest, and he was very thoughtful in the criticism that he gave, and ultimately I think those things made me a better writer, a better communicator of the topics, and it just made me a better researcher overall. I'll also say that he was really important mentor figure to me after I graduated from college. I'll never forget the one summer I presented a paper that I was working on with a Swarthmore professor and a Swarthmore classmate. And during the presentation, he gave really good feedback, and we implemented his feedback into the paper. But after the presentation, he came up to me and he was like, I'm very optimistic of where this paper can end up in terms of a journal. And you have to understand that publishing econ papers in journals is extremely stressful, and the prestige of the journal really matters. And so he really encouraged us to basically shoot for the stars in terms of submitting it to a journal, and I really appreciated his confidence and optimism. So yeah, those are some of the memories with Professor Golub that I wanted to share. Here are some of the things that came up in the conversation with Aamia and Dominic.
Yeah, I mean, Professor Golub was like truly a fixture in the Swarthmore Economics Department. Anybody who graduated took at least, micro or one of the foundational courses with him. So it's definitely going to be strange to not have him be a part of that department anymore. He was my advisor for part of my time there. And I have to say that, Professor Golub was one of the most honest people or honest professors I encountered. There were a lot of times when I maybe wasn't doing my best, and he was always very straightforward with me about that. And I appreciated that. I think that's something that you really need from a mentor.
And Professor Golub, I don't know, like every Swati goes through intermediate microeconomics, and it's not the most fun course. Like, I think anyone would say that, but he definitely did a good job of like really building those fundamentals for all of us to be becoming better thinkers about economics.
So yeah, those are our thoughts and memories of Professor Golub. Rest in peace, Professor Golub. My condolences to his family and his colleagues. Yeah, it was a really sad time. With that, I'm going to wrap up the episode here. Thanks for listening, and I hope to see you all next time on the Social Science Kaleidoscope.